Hello, it's June Olson with Junebug Creations, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator coming to you live from Kalispell, Montana. And I've decided to go ahead and call this Thunderstruck Thursday because, well, it's a technique and it's using the Sunset Coast. So let's go ahead and switch cameras and we'll go ahead and jump right in. So this is the Sunset Coast, or the Scenic Coast suite, and it has a stamp set and dies, and then it has the gems and the paper. So these are the gems. They are the Sunset Sparkle Sequence gems, and you can see I've used quite a bit. This is also our suite for Card Club this month. So if you are interested, you still have a couple days to jump in and get into and do our card club. You can either do it locally with us on a Friday morning, Friday evening, or on Zoom on a Saturday. And I would need to know, let's see, today is the 9th. I would need to know by Saturday, well, by Sunday, so I could get, oh, no, I need to know by tomorrow. Sorry, that puts some serious pressure on you, because I need to be able to place the order, get the materials in, and get them shipped out to you. Our class is the 24th and the 25th. So let me know. I'm always interested in having more people come join us for the fun. So here is the Sunset Coast paper. Look at that wonderful reflection there on that water. And then this is the other side. I love this one too. I haven't played with this side, but I keep thinking I need to make some more cards with it. And then there's this one. To me, this looks more like a sunrise, maybe. I don't know. And then we have that one. This one looks pretty stormy. There's some white waves here. You can see the reflection. And then we have this one. And then we have this one, and I'm not really sure what this one is. I don't really see a sun, so I don't know if this is sunrise, sunset. What do you think? Do you think this is a sunrise, or do you think this is sunset? And then we have this one. This one's super fun. I like the bubbles there. And then we have this beautiful, to me, this is definitely a sunset. And we have that one that's more watery looking. And then we have this one, which could be either sunrise or sunset to me. And it's got that, you know, wonderful foily shimmer, and then it has that background. So these were actually paintings that were done and then photos made of them. So gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. All right, then we have our stamp set. So we have some great sentiments. We have two little sailboats. We have the water. With this is the fill-in for this spot for color, or you could use it for little water, a sun. And then we have the fill-in for the little arch. We have some clouds, and then we have more of the sentiments. And so what I do is I now take a Sharpie, one of my skinny Sharpies, and I outline the stamps so I can see where they go. One, so I don't lose any, and two, because sometimes it was hard to maneuver how they had the stamps on here. So now what I do is I make sure that I outline them so I know where they fit, and that way I don't lose any stamps. All right, you can see some are gone. Those are the ones that we're using today for this live. And then these are the dies. All right, and they are fabulous. So you have this one with the lighthouse. You have this one with the sailboat, and then those are the two stamped sailboats. You have this one with the beautiful rays. You have some shells, some seagulls, the clouds, you have your arch, and you have the sun. And then you have here some little, which I didn't even use on any of the cards I made and designed myself, but I did use them on the ones for the Sunset Coast class that I wanted to tell you about. And I'm going to go ahead and show you those cards, because the Sunset class is still, Sunset Coast class is still available. All right, so it's available for purchase. And if you, excuse me, when you purchase the class and the products for it, I will set you the products as in these. Here we go. as in the stamps and dies. When you purchase the class and you purchase the suite collection, so the dies and the paper and the gems and stuff, so that you can do this class, I will send you the ingredients for the cards. All right, so all the cardstock for it, I will send that to you. Let me, where are those cards? Here we go. Let me show you the cards. So you'll start off with a stamping card. All right, super simple, super sweet. Love how it turned out. All right, and then they have the artistic card. This one was a little more complicated, but I think anyone really could do it. You'll just take your time. There's a little bit of watercoloring on here, some die cutting, and then you're going to use that beautiful sun ray thing and take one of those, and then you'll cut it again and glue it on the back. And then you have the birds flying, and then you have another watercolor lighthouse on the inside. So this was their artistic one, and it is beautiful. All right. And then we have our shabby chic one. And I just love all the shells and the netting and everything. I think that's great. And I love the sentiment. Wherever this note finds you, I hope it finds you happy. So I love how they did that. This was a fun card to make. And then this was a more modern card. So we used the sun to do all the dots on the front and back. We just did it like that. And then we did some brushing of the colors. You can kind of see under the vellum there's some color, and then we did the ray there, which I thought was really fun and super unique in its ideas. So those are the cards from the Scenic Coast class. So if you want to make those cards, I will send you all the cardstock ingredients to make those cards when you purchase the suite and the class. So I will keep a track of that. You can always reach out to me and say, hey, I just purchased that. Will you send me? Because I'll have to reach out to you for your address anyways. But I wanted to let you know that that was the special that I was offering. When you purchase this class and the products that go with it, I will send you all the cardstock you need for that, just in case you don't have the colors that they're using in there. So then let me show you what cards I have designed. So we've got, some of these cards will be for Card Club. All right, and one of them is this stamping card. It's all stamping, only the little bit of die, and I did die cut the birds. And then we are turning that into an easel card. All right. Happy retirement, because just doesn't that look amazing? I would love to be there right now. I would love to be there right now. All right, and then this was the other card that I did with this wonderful, probably one of my favorite sunset ones. And then I love lighthouses. I absolutely love lighthouses. And I did this on vellum because I didn't want to hide the paper behind it. So I did the black embossing powder wherever this note finds you. I hope it finds you happy. And then I just added some of the birds in here. And then we have the shells, and I cut the shells out of vellum, and then the little net. That was super fun. All right, oops, did that one upside down. And then there's this fun fold that stands like this. All right, you have your little words on the, or where you can write on the back. And then here you have the happy anniversary. Like that, it stands. So that was a fun fold to make. And then here is another fun fold, and it stands, fold it back that way. It stands like that. And then you can see, you'll just have to open it right there to get your little message instead of writing on the back. This way you have just this little card flip up. All right. And then it stands like that. All right. So that was a fun one to make as well. And then this is the one we're doing today. We're doing the background. I'm going to change up the front, but we're doing the background, which is called the Bargello Technique. It looks tedious, but it's not. I promise you, it's not tedious. All right, and so then you have your rays. I did it in the blue shimmer vellum and the Daffodil Delight to just give it some pop. Wishing you a lifetime of joy. And then on the inside, congratulations. All right, different sort of I don't know, it could be a birthday card, it could be a wedding card, it could be a graduation card, it could be anything you want. All right, so this is the card, this is the technique back here called the Bargello Technique, and we're going to go ahead and do that one today. I'm going to set that there to just kind of remind me, and I have my little write up here to help me remember what we're doing. So the first thing we want to do is we want to have our card base. We're going to go ahead and use the Knight of Navy. And I just had a friend, Mary Beth, tell me about this idea of how to make sure if you don't want to score, because sometimes when you fold on a score line, it doesn't hit it spot on. So you can push this edge up to each other and then here, and then you just want to line it up, and I need my glasses to do that. There we go. And then fold it there, and then use your bone folder like that. All right, and then I did a much better job lining up the bottom. There's no side that's necessarily longer than the other. So there's my card base. I'm going to go ahead and set that aside. And then we need a piece of 6x6 white, and you need a piece of 6x6 adhesive sheet. Now, the adhesive sheets come in 12x6, so I just cut one in half. All right, and then we're going to put this on here. So you have, back here, you have these pieces that come off like that. Oh, let me get my, I've started keeping a little tub for all the non-recyclable pieces. There we go, because too often they get mixed up. All right. And then this one's a little trickier because you have to kind of grab it here on the sticky part and fold it up to grab the, oops, to grab the rest of that. Try not to get stuck to it. I thought it flipped over. I was going to be very, very sad. All right, so I found for laying this down that it's easier if you flip this over versus trying to put it in there. And then I just started from one end, lined it up, and went to the other end. Okay, it is not perfect. All right, I have a little bit hanging off or a little bit less over here, but that's okay. All right, that's okay. So we've got that part ready. Then we also need, this is for my sentiment. This is 5 by 3 3/4. This is what I'm using for the inside, so I'll set that aside for now. And then this is going to be for the front layer, because first we're going to put all the strips on here, then it'll be over on there. So we'll set that aside for the moment. We'll set this aside for the moment, because now what we need to do is we need to have 3 each of 2 patterns, and then 2 each of 3 patterns. All right, so here's one pattern that I'm going to cut. And here is another pattern. So this I can get for sure 2. We're doing 1/2 inch strips by 6. They can be longer, so like if I was using a larger piece of DSP, it could be longer and be over the edge, but I'm using 6 by 6 paper, so it's all going to be exact. All right, so 2 each of 2 prints, so I can cut this one into 2. 3 each of 2 prints, 2 each of 3 prints. All right, so I was trying to decide. Here is this one. I already have one here, and I can get another one out of here. So this is 2 each of 3 prints, so I still need, and I have smaller pieces unfortunately, so I can't use those. So I'm going to have to dip into some of this. All right, so let's see, what do we want to use? We're already using this, so we can get 2 out of there. So I think we're going to use this one. All right, that's some fabulous color, and that is not the same color as that. All right, so we have 3 each. All right, let's do the 2 prints first. I'm starting to confuse myself. This is the only confusing part, is making sure you have the right prints. So I have this one, which is already almost ½ an inch. So I'll cut that one. All right, so there's one. And then ½ an inch right there. Actually, I can get 3 pieces out of this. So we're going to put this over here in the 3-piece pile. All right. And then let's see what I can get out of this one. So ½ an inch. And not quite. So this will be in the 2. All right, so we have 2 over here, and we need 2 each of 3 patterns. So let me, oh, you know what? We could flip this over and use, oh, that's the paper going the wrong way. You know what? I don't know if that really matters. Let's see. Oh, and that's perfect because it's a 1-inch piece, and it will give us 2. So here's another one. All right, 2 each of 3 prints. I think I'm going to use this one, these 2. All right, and then 3 each of 2 prints. So we're going to use these. So this one, there's 1. 2 and 3 for that one, and then we're going to go ahead and use this one, and I think I'm going to turn it over, and I'm going to use this. I think we're going to use this side. 1, 2, and 3. And I can always change my mind and use the other side. There's nothing saying that I can't. You can use whichever side you want. I don't know. I really do. Maybe we will use that side. It's a lot more exciting. Let's see. What was this one? Well, those were 2. Let's see. What were those? Is this the same? Ah. All right. We'll stick with this side. Like that. All right. So there we have it. We have 3 of 2 different patterns, and we have 2 of 3 different patterns. All right, so there we go. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take, let me just make sure, we're going to take these and we're going to put them in an order. So I'm going to do this one, and then this one, and then this one, this one, and this one. Actually, I think, yeah. Actually, I think I kind of like the lighter side, and then this one. And then again, this one, this one, this one. Oop, here we did this one, and then we flip this one over to there. Oh. All right, we're gonna stick with what we originally had planned. There we go. This one. There we go. This one. So we're keeping it in an order. All right, and then this one, and then it was this one and this one. So we have a lot of dark ones here together, but they're going to line up like that, and they're going to be right about 6 inches. Okay, right about 6 inches. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take off this sticky part. First, take off this backing. Let's see where to take it off at. All right, I know it's on here because I put it on here, right? There we go. There we go. So we're going to take off slowly so you're not peeling the whole thing up. There we go. Ah. It likes to stick. It's a sticky one. So how often do you remember to use adhesive sheets? I tend to forget to use adhesive sheets, and my card club people know it because we'll be gluing and all of a sudden it's like, oh, this would have been a good one to use adhesive sheets on, but I forgot. All right, so we're going to start here and we're going to line this up with the very bottom like that. And then we're just going to keep taking these and butting them up against the one in front of them. Let's see. All right, I think I work better from this way actually. So we're gonna have to turn these around. All right, so we're gonna butt it right up against it. All right, so there's no white space, and we're just going to keep going. Now you could, you could use all the different sides and everything, but you want some of the same patterns. There we go. And it's going to be cut down. So if it's not perfect, don't worry about it. It's going to be cut down. There we go. It's like I have a little bit of white showing here. That's okay. And we're starting again with this one. Right. And these are just such brilliant colors, so powerful, the colors, that I just really like how it turns out. All right, here we go. We're just lining it up and bumping it up to the one before it. All right, so we're just going to keep going here like that. And then this one like that. And then this one, whoop, no white. There we go. So now we have our 6 by 6 piece. All right, little bit of edging coming off. That's okay. It could be that it wasn't cut perfectly at 6 by 6, or the 1/2 inch ones weren't cut perfectly, but doesn't that look amazing? It looks so amazing. All right, so now what we're going to do, if you had ends, like if you had longer pieces than 6 inches, you would be trimming off the edges on each side to make sure it was all to this. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take it like this, and we're going to cut it at 1/2 inch strips. So we're going to cut this at 1/2 inch strips. You have your strips of paper going this way. Now we're going to cut it this way to make it look like little squares. All right, so it's kind of a patchworky sort of thing. So here we go. There's that one, and you want to keep it in order. Keep it in line. Go. 1/2 inch. Right. There we go. So, what are your plans for the weekend? This weekend I will be doing a team gathering. We have someone from the home office coming. It's a Zoom team gathering, so they'll be popping on, someone from the home office. I'm very excited about that. It's a surprise. I'm not telling anyone, so don't ask. And then it's our 3-hour craft along, so we'll be crafting together, so that's super fun. And let's see. And then I'll just be crafting and working on some things around the house. We're still trying to get moved in. You wouldn't think that it would take that long to move in, but it does. All right, so why there is less than 1/2 inch when you do it, it's 6 by 6. There should be, I don't know why, but I can't seem to come up with 1/2 inch at the end. So, but it turns out to be okay because you won't be using all of them anyways. So it's all good. So now we're going to take this, we're going to keep them together like this, and I'll just keep this one with it because they're all 1/2 inch. They're all 1/2 inch, so I don't know why it turns out that way. All right, so now you're going to take your 5.5 by 4.25 paper, and you're going to start putting these on here, but you're going to be adjusting them. Okay, so you're going to be lining them up, but not perfectly. So you can use, and I like to go this way from the top to the bottom, you can use whatever glue you like here. I'm going to use my trusty adhesive, my green glue that I love. All right, and I'm going to just put some glue back and forth from edge to edge because it is 1/2 inch pieces, so I want to make sure to get them. All right, and I'm going to start all the way down. I want to start all the way down on the edge like that. Okay, and then this one I'm going to bump up one. All right, so I'm going to bump it up one like that. Okay, and you're lining it up. And then I see that I need more glue. So I'm going to add more glue. Oh, can you see? Are you seeing? Here we go. All right, so I'm going to keep going. And I'm going to bump it up one more time. Like that. And add more glue. Actually, I'm going to go down and I'm going to add a little bit more so I don't have to do it after every single one. I want to make sure there's plenty in there. And then I'm going to go up another one like that. All right, so we've got it going up and graduating you know, square by square by square. Now we're going to go back down. All right. I'm going to go back down like that. And then we'll add some more glue. There we go. And then we'll go down. And it creates this really cool pattern. I just love it. And then go down again. And then you're just going to keep covering this, going up and down like that. And then we'll be cutting off the edges. So this one will go back up again. That way you never have the same square lined up with each other. All right, so we're gonna finish this off. What do you think? Looks pretty cool, huh? All right, so then we'll go up another one. This one came together better than the last one. I think I goofed in my lineup here with the other one. And then we're gonna go, nope, up one. There we go. And then, well, I can either use that partial piece. Nope, not fat enough. So this will just be hanging off, but it's already gone high. So now I'm going to go back down one. All right. Cool. So I'm just going to smooth it out with my fingers. This is a good time when you can use your brayer to make sure you really got it all glued down. All right, because you don't want it coming off. All right, and then this is what your other side will look like. And so now you can trim it. Oh, okay, yeah. Then we're going to trim it to 5 1/4. All right, the white piece. 5 1/4 by 4. So here is our 4. So we're going to trim this off. What I did last time is I just already had the 5 1/4 by 4 piece. And I think in the future I'll probably stick with that. So here we go. There we go, 5 by 4. Take all those pieces off. You can keep them, toss them, recycle them, and then we want 5 1/4. All right. So then you have this. All right, how cool does that look? And we have some suns peeking out. We have all that shimmery paper throughout. There we go. Oh my gosh, that just looks awesome. So then we're going to bring in our card base. And I went ahead and put this up on dimensionals for this card. I had more variety of colors on this one, I think, is what it looks like. And you can see by this purple that it wasn't always even. Here it's even, but then I missed one over here, and so then it got off. But it still looks really good, I think. No one's going to know that I messed it up except for me and now you, because I told you. So then we have this one that will go here. All right. That looks like it's cut a little bit off. Let me just check it. 5¼ Yep, okay. So one thing I've noticed, like right here on the very edge, so if you don't like that and then a piece came off, I'm going to go ahead and trim that off. So that I don't take a chance of when someone gets that card of something falling off, because we don't want anything to fall off. All right, there we go. And it will still work just fine. Let's see. Here we go. We have that. Now I was trying to decide whether to do these again, maybe a lighter one. Oh, I know what I was going to do. There we go. Actually, let me just bring my mini over because we can. We'll just bring the mini over. We're going to do the net. I'm going to do the net. Oh, where is my net? Uh-oh. Well, all right, I am missing a die over there on my counter, the netting die, so I guess we're not going to do that today. We're going to go ahead and do the Starburst, I think. Again, oh, you know what? I've got an idea. Let's do the lighthouse on this one. And we're going to do that in the navy blue, in the Night of Navy, excuse me. Here we go. We'll do that in the Night of, no, we're going to go with the black. Where's my black? There we go. I had a plan, but I changed it. All right, so let's go ahead. We're going to do the lighthouse. Like that. And then, there we go. Oh, that's right. That stays on there. And then I'm going to grab this, and we're going to do an outline of this so that it is just a circle, because I don't want to cover up my Bargello design, right? I just spent all that time, so I don't want to cover it up. So we're going to take the largest circle from the Stylish Shapes dies, and we're going to cut out a circle on here. Here we go. I've done this with the sailboat, but I haven't done it with this. So let's see how that works. It's very thin. Yikes, that's really thin. All right, so then instead we're just going to cut off this part and this part. Then it will still, let's see, poke those out. It's just, it fits, but it's not quite, if you don't get it spot on, you can see what happens. It doesn't quite work, and it must have shifted a little bit because I looked and I had it, but it obviously shifted a little, but that's okay. This will work too. And then I'm going to run these shells through, do the seashells on this fun pink shimmery paper. So we'll run the seashells through on there, and then we're going to run the little fences on the basic beige. That's what it is. I had to think of the name of that one. There we go. All right. So we have our shells in the pink sparkly paper. I think we're going to put those on the inside. I had wanted to do those. I wanted to show you that you could use the shimmer paper for that, but I was planning on putting those on the netting, but I don't know where that die is. I know it's on the counter. I just don't know where on the counter. So we'll have to sort that out. All right, so let's move this out of the way. All right, so we have those. We'll do this on the inside. Let's poke these out. All right, and okay. So the one thing I did want to do is I wanted to kind of make these a little bit darker, a little bit darker. So we're going to take the basic beige and we're going to take a dauber and we're going to just kind of stamp on them, and that will just kind of make them a little bit darker so they stand out a little bit. And you know, when you're at the ocean, it's not bright wood, it's not fresh wood, it looks a little bit old and aged, and so by daubing this it kind of looks a little bit old and aged, and that's what we wanted. All right, so we'll let those dry over here for a minute. I'm going to get my wipe and wipe that down. Love this glass mat. Love, 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 love. All right, actually I need to clean it if I love it, right? It's kind of dirty with lots of adhesive. All right, so I'm going to go ahead, because these are going to be on dimensionals, I'm going to go ahead and glue this down. So we'll glue this. All right, so I love this Bargello design technique. Have you done it? And what kinds of papers have you used it for? If you haven't done it, what kind of paper is going through your mind that, oh my gosh, I got to try it with that paper? Because to me, this is just amazing. All right, so we could put this right here because we have that sunset that right there. So we're going to go ahead and put that on dimensionals. But because it's black, we're going to use black dimensionals so that the white isn't so stark and doesn't stand out. So we have some mini black dimensionals. They have the white paper, but you'll see when we take off the paper, let's see, hold on, something stuck, there we go. When we take off the paper, you'll see that it's black. You won't be able to see them. So let's do that. There, where else can we put one? Oops, see, there's black paper. There's black underneath, which is kind of nice because then you definitely won't be able to see it. See, you'll never know that they're there because it's black under black. So no white shining through. Like that. Wonder if we could get one more right there. That way we don't have anything so, and maybe one more right here. You know how I don't like sagging. So there we go. So we'll do that. And we'll set that right there. Oh, that looks so cool. Even though it's partial, that still even looks so cool. All right, so we could, I don't know. What do you think? Do we use the fences or do we not? I feel like it's taking away from that striking black shadow. All right, so I need to get my black ink. I grabbed the Memento because that's the closest one. Maybe we could just put our seashells over here. What do you think? Now I'm looking up at the camera and it doesn't look as good. What do you think? I'm thinking not. I'm thinking maybe we will just use those on the inside and we'll just keep that. That's just, to me, that's just looking so striking. All right, so here's our inside, and then here we go. All right, so I'm going to use black ink for my sentiment, which is wherever this finds you. I do have the hybrid, but I still have the Memento. So I don't have any, let's see, oh, that's not looking, I don't have any re-inkers on my Memento. I might have to switch. Let's see how this doesn't look like it's going to. Where's my other one? I know I had one of them that was juicier than the other. I wish I had more refills. There we go. That one's going to work. There we go. That looks great. Wherever this note finds you. Now I'm going to cut it out because, again, I don't want to cover all this up, right? So I'm just going to set it there for a minute and then I'm going to cut it out. And then on the inside, I'm going to do I'm going to do it down here. I hope it finds you happy. Now, I don't tend to use the word hope. I use the word trust, but that's okay. So we're going to put those down here like that. All right, let's go ahead and I'm going to use glue dots for these because glue dots tend to not show up through your vellum. All right, whereas the glue will show up through the vellum, and of course we don't want that to happen. So we're going to use some glue dots. There we go. And since I have these super duper teeny tiny ones from Paper Pumpkin or whatever kit, it's perfect. Just put one there. One there. This one's a larger shell, so I'm going to use 3. But I love that glue dots don't show up behind the vellum, but the wet glue, your Stampin' Seal, all those do show up behind the vellum. So glue dots are one of the best things to use. I learned that in that Scenic Coast class. So like I was telling you, if you sign up for the Scenic Coast class and you purchase the bundle from me, the sweet products that you need for the class, when you purchase all those, I will send you the card ingredients for those. So that's the watercolor paper that you need, and then all the cardstock that you need for it. So we're going to do this right there like that. And then we'll do this one over here. And this one, where'd that black come from? Oh well, it's got a speckle. We could stick it back here and no one will see it. There we go. So cute, cute, cute. Let's put that on the inside, and then we'll cut out our sentiment. Now you'll see here on the inside one, I don't put any glue there in the center. That way, when you're writing, you don't feel the glue underneath. There you go. The other thing you could do is like take this piece and you could put it across the top if you wanted to. Oh, I kind of like that idea. Oh, that had the missing piece. Did we have an extra? We didn't have an extra piece. All right, we'll just leave it. I don't want to mess it up, and I'll have to use these. I have to use those for something else, but let's go ahead and cut this out. So I'm just going to curve around, and that way we're covering less. So I like cutting out my sentiments when I don't want to cover up my paper or when they're big, and this is a pretty big one. So you could find a die for it if you wanted. I kind of like not. So, okay, I'm going to do this. And we're going to start over here because I'm trying to decide whether I want to cut it into two pieces or leave it as one big one. And I am leaning towards the two pieces again so that I am covering up less of this Bargello design and this amazing paper. Now you can see why this is not one of the chosen cards for Card Club, because this one, it takes a little bit more time. We have 3 hours to do our Card Club class, whether it's in person or on Zoom. We do 3 to 4 cards depending on how technique heavy it is, or how the fun folds, how much work the fun folds are, so that we can get them done in the 3 hours. All right, so, but you saw the cards that we'll be making. So it'll be 4 cards this month, because the fun folds are not super extensive. The stamping that's seen, that one will take some time. There we go, just kind of following the words. And that way there can be a little bit of separation instead of all that white. Now you could, the other thing you could do, or that I could have done, is you could take a piece of black paper and do white embossing powder on it. Heat embossing. But again, that takes more time to do, so then it's just up to you. There we go. All right, coming to the end here. All right, so we're going to put this on dimensionals. Of course, we'll use the white ones for this one because it is white. Oops, let's get that. There we go. There we go. that on there. And then we'll add some gems and call it good. I am loving this new technique though. This is super fun. But you saw how time consuming it can be. So that's why I decided to do it as live, to show you how to do it, and then you can choose to do it yourself. I gave you the measurements for everything throughout the video, so you can recreate. Let's see, is that already, oh, that's already sticky. All right, so we'll do this wherever this note finds you. ... I hope it finds you happy. Oh, I love how that turned out. Oh my gosh, this paper is so striking, and that black lighthouse is just perfect like that. Yep, I love it. Let me know what you think. So once again, Scenic Coast, when you buy the class and the suite collection that you need to make the cards, then I will send you all the ingredients. So I'll send you the white cardstock. I'll send you the, the white, was this on white? Yeah, so I'll send you a sheet of thick white cardstock for those two backgrounds, and then I'll send you the stuff and already have it cut for you. I'll send you the watercolor paper for your shells and for your sailboat. And then I will send you the watercolor paper for this, and then the white cardstock for that, and then the sheet of balmy blue for these, and the white cardstock for that. So any of the cardstock. So the shimmer vellum you will purchase with the suite. It's part of the suite. The gems you will purchase with part of the suite, and then the dies and the stamps. All right, and then I will send you the cardstock to make these cards. All right, so if you have any questions about that, and then if you're interested in Card Club, please reach out to me or put below Card Club for our cards this month, which are this easel card with all the stamping. We have this one, and we're doing the black embossing powder. Then we have this fun fold, and we have this fun fold. So we have two fun folds, well, three fun folds, and a simpler card, but they're all not super complicated. All right, so if you're interested in doing Card Club, then just put below Card Club. I will reach out to you so that we can get that information to you. So here is the first Bargello Technique card, and this is the second one we just did live, and I have to say this one's probably my favorite. Let me know which one is your favorite. All right, so thanks for joining me. Thanks for checking it out. Make sure you're commenting and answering my questions as you go. Probably should have said that at the beginning. If you were watching this on YouTube and you enjoyed it, please make sure to subscribe and hit the little bell so that you know when I am live, so you can see what we're up to. And then also, if you're on Facebook, make sure you follow and you get the notifications so that you know when I am live. I go live on Tuesdays at 11:11 for Kit Together using the Stampin' Up kits. I am starting up again doing Thursdays, Thunderstruck Thursday, which is how-tos, techniques, fun folds, all that, using different sets each week. On Thursdays at 5 o'clock Mountain Time, and then on Fridays at 3:33 p.m. I will be doing the Paper Pumpkin Playdate. And the first week that I get the kit, I make the cards as designed, and after that I do the alternate. So if you're interested, come join us. Would love to have you. All right, have a great rest of your Thursday. See you tomorrow at 3:33 for Paper Pumpkin Playdate. Bye-bye now.